Fast food refers to food which will be ready and served quickly. It will come back from several places: work stoppage restaurants, counter service, takeout, drive-through, and delivery. Nutriment is widespread as a result of the food is cheap, convenient, and tastes smart. However, nutriment is usually created with cheaper ingredients like high-fat meat, refined grains, and additional sugar and fats rather than nutrient ingredients like lean proteins, whole grains, contemporary fruits, and vegetables. Nutriment is additionally high in metal, aka salt, that is employed as a preservative and makes food a lot of saporous and satisfying. Is nutriment bad? There is no such factor as a bad food, however there square measure some foods you ought to attempt to not wear an everyday basis. As a result of nutriment is high in metal, saturated fat, trans fat, and steroid alcohol, it isn't one thing you ought to eat typically. Feeding an excessive amount of over an extended amount of your time will result in problems like high vital sign, cardiovascular disease, and unwanted weight gain. Since feeding a great deal of trans fats will cause sure heart health issues, the Food and Drug Administration, Federal Food and Drug Administration, has needed that artificial trans fats from partly change oils be off from foods sold out at restaurants by 2020. People conjointly typically drink soda after they eat nutriment that adds empty calories, calories that don't cause you to feel full or offer any nutrients besides sugar to the meal. It's useful to recollect that with nutriment, moderation is very important. Is some nutriment healthier than others? Many nutriment chains have updated their menus to incorporate healthier choices. For instance, several have menu things that contain fruits and vegetables. Some menus even have special things tagged as light or less than 500 calories to assist shoppers simply establish lighter menu things. Whereas lower calorie menu choices aren't essentially healthier, the calorie counts are often useful to reference once deciding between a number of meal choices. If you're having nutriment over once every week, attempt to select from a number of the healthier decisions on the menu. You'll conjointly typically check up on the nutrition facts on the restaurant's website if you're curious. Here square measure some tips. Go lightweight on the toppings. Additional toppings typically suggests that a lot of metal or unhealthy fats. To unwind your meal while not eliminating flavor. Don't make the sauce. Select oil-based dressings like Italian or oleo-resin French dressing rather than creamy dish dressings like blue and ranch that square measure high in saturated fat. Kindle dressing on the aspect thus you'll management the number that goes on. Use or raise for mustard or condiment rather than mayo or special sauce. When ordering dish, add veggies rather than meat, and obtain skinny crust rather than deep dish. Top your sandwiches with veggies like onions, lettuce, and tomatoes rather than bacon or additional cheese. Don't add a lot of salt from the shaker to your meal. Salt could be a major contributor to high vital sign and cardiovascular disease, and nutriment tends to be loaded with it already. Know however your food is created, is formed, is created. The manner a meal is made says a great deal regarding how healthy it'll be. In general, follow these rules. Choose foods that square measure grilled, steamed, or grilled rather than deep fried. For instance, choose a grilled sandwich rather than deep fried chicken or chicken nuggets, and select steamed vegetables or contemporary fruit rather than white potato. Choose soups that aren't cream primarily based. For instance, if the name of the soup includes the word cream or soup like creamy broccoli cheese soup, select one thing else like a broth-based soup like petite marmite or chicken noodle. Dishes tagged fried, pan-fried, basted, breaded, creamy, crispy, scalloped, Alfredo, or in white sauce square measure typically high in calories, unhealthy fats, and sodium. When ordering a sub or sandwich, choose lean meats like turkey or grilled chicken rather than things like burgers, steak, or cheese sandwiches. Raise if they need an entire wheat bread or wrap choice. Ask for sauces or dressings that keep company with meals to be served on the aspect, and use simply a tiny low quantity. Practice portion control. Meal parts nowadays at restaurants square measure virtually double the dimensions that they were 30 years past. Owing to that, we tend to find yourself feeding far more food than we'd like. Try to follow these tips. Order smaller entree parts. For instance, rather than an oversized sub-sandwich, attempt a tiny low-sub sandwich with a aspect dish and low-fat dressing or piece of fruit. If you're obtaining a aspect like white potato, order a tiny low, or child-sized portion. Ne'er supersize anything, these choices pack in a fair larger quantity of calories, sodium, and fat. Don't fall for the deals. Several nutriment restaurants advertise price deals for larger parts of food. These foods might are available what's referred to as a value box, a dance orchestra pack, or simply be a bigger portion for an inexpensive worth. If you wish the deal, eat solely and save the remainder for later, or split with an admirer. Remember, you'll get an excessive amount of an honest factor. Even though a quick food eating place uses healthy ingredients, they still typically offer you a great deal a lot of food than your body wants from one meal. Feeding over your body wants of any reasonably food will result in weight gain. Watch your parts, even once you square measure feeding healthier quick foods like salads, sandwiches, and soup. Pack up 1/2 your meal during a to-go box to save lots of for one more meal, since several meals served at restaurants square measure double or triple the suggested serving size. Setting it aside will keep you from selecting at your meal once you square measure already full.